Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Want to follow up on NIH and that conversation that you just had. I think every cent of hard-earned taxpayer dollars should be used responsibly, should be used efficiently, judiciously, and we have to be accountable. And I appreciate you taking that approach to every portion of the areas in which you oversee. You mentioned, Senator Mullen obviously mentioned several of the people that we feel like are not utilizing this right and are taking advantage of the system. I want to say thank you for your comments last week at the Help Committee, where you specifically pointed out the University of Alabama and the system, University of Alabama at Birmingham.
You weren't here, I pointed it out again.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. As people trying to do it right, trying to make sure that we can create life-saving and life-changing research that positively impacts the lives of not only Alabamians, but Americans and people across the globe. And I just want to thank you for the engagement that we have had on that issue, the continued dialogue we've had, so that we can work to try to get it right. And so just wanted your commitment to continuing that conversation as we work to make sure that we use hard-earned taxpayer dollars wisely and efficiently, and we also make sure that we have life-saving and life-changing research that continues.
Yes, Senator, and based upon some of our conversations and conversations that I've continued to have, expressing your concerns, particularly for the state schools that do not have endowments and that really need lab support and need gloves and test tubes and mass spectrometers and all of the things that you need to do to do first-class science. We want to be paying for that.
Good. Thank you so much.
And we figured out devices in which we can do that, but not through the indirect cost mechanism.
Well, thank you so much. I look forward to continuing that conversation with you. I also want to thank you as a mom. So out of all of the different secretaries that we voted on and confirmed, I think my friends were most excited about you because they thought for once they had someone that was willing to take on, whether it's big companies or big tech in the name of health for their children. When it comes to social media, that's something as a mom of a 15 and a 16-year-old that I get to see the effects of firsthand, not just in my own home, but with my friends and things that are happening in the community. I want to talk with you a little bit about that. We've seen the rate of depression amongst young people more than double. We've seen 1 in 3 high school young women actually consider death by suicide. If you look at those same numbers, 25% of those actually made a plan to take her own life. And then you had 13% of high school young women actually attempt death by suicide. We saw the Surgeon General come out and say there needs to be warning labels on social media. People need to know about the mental health challenges that can occur from use, persistency, and that. Just want your commitment that you, obviously, as you take on toxins in the air, things that are in the environment, things that are in our food, that we'll also look at the things that are in our children's hands and how we can do better to put up guardrails to allow them to continue to explore, but to do it in a safer manner.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to thank you for your support, Senator. I had a conversation with 2 of my grandchildren this weekend, and somebody used the word, one of them used the word anxiety, a 5-year-old boy. And I was thinking that I didn't know what that word was probably until I was a teenager. I never heard anybody use it. But today it is part of the vernacular in young people. And why is this happening? Why are our kids anxious and fearful and depressed and suicidal? Our black children in this country, suicide is now the #1 cause of death. On the Indian reservations, it's now the #1 cause of death. And why are we having this epidemic of loneliness, of alienation? And some of it may be social media, and we're looking into that, and that's part of our portfolio. Yep. But a lot of it may be coming from our food, and we know that the food we now understand that food disrupts microbiome, and it causes these mood swings and anxiety, and we need to look at those.
Well, and I'd love an opportunity to work with you on that, and I know I'm running out of time. We have people that are concerned about Head Start. The news has, taken a narrative that I believe is untrue. I know that you care about the most vulnerable children. I know you care about making sure that those children have access to educational opportunities and care. And could Would you just speak directly to those families and providers about what this administration's plan for supporting and sustaining Head Start in FY26 and how you're working to provide them with the stability that they need to serve those vulnerable children as well?
I'm very grateful to Russell Vogt. I told him how important Head Start was to me. My uncle, Sarge Shriver, started the program. There's 800,000 of the poorest kids in this country who are served by that program. It not only teaches the kids, preschool skills, reading, writing, and arithmetic before they get to prepare them for schools, but it also teaches the parents, and it teaches them how to be good parents. And we see that the children who are exposed to those programs have less contact with law enforcement later in life. They're more likely to graduate from high school and college. They're more likely to hold down jobs. There's a lot of problems with Head Start. We've kept it fully funded, and I'm very grateful to Russell Vogt for that and to the president. But there's things we need to correct. One is the food that they're serving at Head Start is terrible. We need to change that. We're poisoning kids from the poorest kids from their youngest years, and we're going to change that. And there's other issues, too, that need to be corrected, but we're going to have a better and brighter Head Start by the end of this administration.
Well, I look forward to working with you on that, so many other issues, and also the wage index issue that is really hurting Alabama and our rural communities and hospitals. So look forward to continuing our good work together.
Thank you, Senator.